Good evening, I'm Adventure Argonaut. This is Sovereign Syndicate, and I'm back from 2 day hiatus from this game, and we should be. We I think we have the Clara, the courtesan character right now, and we're supposed to do some live performance at the club, at the Palladium. And I'll get right to it just as I check that all the streams are functional, and they indeed are. Everything seems to be working, so let's just go and play the game then. Singing. After an unnerving run-in with a centaur, thankfully not a Barbie, Beatrix has her medicine and one disaster has been averted. Your performance at the Palladium is coming up now, possibly the last you'll give in London if all goes well, but when has it ever? Alright. So yeah, we talked with some other people here at the end of last stream, so I don't really have to talk to them. Let's just go to the backstage. I presume it's gonna start. This goes to the green room and my last show in London. I must say, the nostalgia is like a knife. It's a room in a theatre or concert hall where performer awaits their entrance. Now then, I know the steps and how to hit the notes. Shall we begin? I'm ready as I'll ever be. Let's give them a night to remember. Uh, we have a modestly full house, and something about the finality of this performance makes me feel, well, it's hard to put a finger on it. Eager. Ooh, we got some hope. I'm eager to put this all behind me. Let's leave on a high note. The band begins to play a hopeful ballad from my years in America. It's actually singing. The sun has set on affluence and dark the shadows fall. Oh, tremendous. Just excellent, lads. I'm on a roll tonight, said Atticus Daly. This rumbum is still in the crowd. I must keep my composure. Drunkard. I think I might come to miss this when all's said and done. Alright, that was the performance. Guess it was okay, so. Quite the performance, Clara. Masked man whom I have never seen. Perhaps he hopes to hide his identity while frequenting the Velvet Roast. Thank him politely. I do hope the audience enjoyed it. First time at the Palladium, perhaps I could have one of our girls give you a tour of the Rose upstairs. Thanks, but I'm quite fine down here. In point of fact, I attended tonight to see you. Your reputation precedes you. You've seen the posters advertising my performance? Something like that. Secretive. This man has ulterior motives. No shit, Sherlock. If he's not here for a transaction at the roast, then perhaps something unscrupulous. Certainly he did not just come to see me sing. Attempt to take your leave. I'm glad you liked the show, but I'm quite busy this evening and I should be getting on. Is that right? I noticed someone else this evening who seems to be quite busy as well. He gestures towards the raucous gaming tables where the burly Minotaur who interrupted my performance still sits, still entirely sozzled, sloppily drunk, still adding to an already obscene pile of winnings. Shame about that interruption. Some people just don't know when to quit. That fellow does seem busy, busy earning dosh. It's just money. Perhaps he would enjoy some time at the Rose, put his earnings to a better use than a game where he could lose it all on a bad run. I was thinking much the same. He's a player character, so we should get to know him intimately. Were you now? That's quite perceptive, Miss Clara Reed. Something in his stare tells me he's been watching me closely for a while. Is he the of the Lancaster's goon just waiting for the right moment to strike? In any case, he's right that gambler is a good mark, and I should think he owes me for interrupting my show. I should see if I can't convince him to part with a portion of his capital, his money, or the entirety if need be. Well, I leave you to it. Best regards, Miss Reed. And he takes his leave just as mysteriously as he appeared. Alright, let's do a save and then go talk to our other player character. Finally, they meet. So the proverb is true. Lord loves infants and fools. This Minotaur is certainly feeling his oats from so overly confident due to alcohol use. And from the looks of that pile of chips, he has a good reason to celebrate. I'd be a bit more forgiving if he hadn't interrupted my performance. Perhaps his winnings are enough to pay Green Street? I need to get a closer look, but it appears I've found my mark. It should be simple enough to get him alone somewhere and swipe the tin. With any luck, I'll be able to leave London tonight exactly as planned. Goodness, I think I recognize him. He's a typical London lush. A drunk, but the Rose only rarely has miniatures for clients, much less repeat ones. Though I can't remember what the devil his name is. Atlas, perhaps? No, Atticus. That is Atticus Daly. Um, no. Okay, ascertain his chip count. His single blue chip catches my eye first, which alone is equivalent to 20 pounds. Additionally, toilet. Um, so which alone is equivalent to 20 pounds. Additionally, 10 black chips 15 whites and a generous helping of greens, merciful saints. And here's your stack of tenors. 10-pound banknotes. Left to places the last red chip on a column stacked 10 high and slide it towards my mark. The grand total is something to behold. More than I need, but it wouldn't hurt to have a fiscal head start when I make it to port across the pond. Okay. Um, Tact. Okay, ask him to buy a drink to make up for his interruption. Perhaps you'd buy me a drink for that little interruption during my show. Call it even after that, eh, handsome? Huh. His dumbfounded expression is one for the books. I have to bite my tongue to keep myself from laughing. Of course, anything for the lady wants. Just tell Clementine the drink is for Clara. She knows what I like. Of course. Off you pop. I promise I won't keep you waiting long. Right, cash me out then. Look at me, quitting while I'm ahead. First time for everything. Huh, who knew a lummox like him could get so lucky? Indeed, it does seem peculiar. Maybe he was cheating. Alright, let's do another save. Lefty. Eh, what a cheam bibber, eh? But I suppose everyone deserves a bit of luck sometimes. It seems the whole borough is on the lash tonight, and there sits my mark, chewing away with Clementine, so local district of local authority in London, drinking to excess. Okay. Okay. Let's see if there's like somebody I should talk to, like some new comments or something. Good job out there, Clara. I needed that. I think I'm glad I came. Okay, so doesn't seem like there's much anybody's gonna say, but let's just quickly have a look. Yes, yeah, no need to do any rounds. I think let's just make my move. Well then, Atticus, how did I do up there? Apart from when you interrupted, he's still chatting with Clementine. I best speak clearly. He seems to have temporarily damaged his hearing with drink. Atticus Daly. Excuse me? Something wrong, Atticus? You look as if you've never seen me before. Oh, of course I do. We met many times. Now we're getting somewhere. I didn't know you sang so beautifully. Thank you, Atticus, and this coming from a man who must be well versed in myriad forms of entertainment. Mira? Is that your name? No, sorry, it's Clara Reed, the chanteuse. Let's get her a drink. Female singer of popular songs, especially in a nightclub. Very detailed description of chanteuse. This is going to be even easier than I thought. Don't fash yourself. Let's have a drink upstairs instead. Fast, don't worry or bother. His eyes light up like a gas lamp. What are you saying, Miss Reed? Play it coy. Mr. Daly, you've been to the Rose before, have you not? Perhaps you might join me somewhere more private and see where it leads us. Yes, do you want that drink? I just remembered I promised you one. Um, no. Yes, a drink, but more importantly, let us drink in the moment. Enjoy the evening in full. What's that? Abstract poetry? I'm not sure I follow. Mind if I bring a bottle with me anyway? Of course not, Atticus. It's quite clear that the fates are smiling upon you. Whatever you like should fit the bill. Right, oi, Clem. Yes, Master Daly. He was have us a bottle of finest beef eater on the shelf. Ooh, a London brand of gin from mine. Nine essential botanicals. Yeah, beef eater is a real gin. You can see it in most liquor stores. I'll send it to room 4, but I'll let you hobble up there first, big timer. I claim I've got words for you, but for now, it's time to. I got upstairs, made himself comfortable. Clem levels me a reproachful look. Not exactly my place, but I hope you know what you're getting into, Clara. Me and Master Daly are friends, you know. I wouldn't want to harm any harm done. Rest easy, Clem. A woman with my reputation must maintain it. Reputation of being a whore. Your business, I suppose. So where is room 4? Guess it's up there somewhere. Or is it this one? It's open. Oh yes, there he is. Save again. My room. Okay, good enough. Goodness, he looks a lot more sober than he did downstairs. I suppose it's true what they say. Minotaurs really can hold their liquor. Sorry, love, didn't mean to keep you waiting. Quite alright. My head was really spinning. I wonder if it just might just chat a while. Of course, just give me a moment to get a bit more comfortable. Best to remove my weaponry before climbing into bed. Most of it, at any rate. Normally I do this out of sight of the client, but tonight is nothing if not off the cuff. My apologies, though. So the ranger removed, so now we cannot loot him. That's perfectly fine. Now then, I'll provide whatever insight I can. I hope I can put it into words. There's this stubborn memory stuck way back in my head, and just when it seems about to finally surface, I end up here instead, back in my old ways. I know the feeling. Perhaps I'm a born drifter, not meant for the straight and narrow, because even when my luck runs out, I never hit rock bottom. I wonder what the rock bottom looks like for him. What might it take to admit he's found himself there? No use maundering about my past. I ought to throw all that away and embrace the moment. I think I heard that in some poem once. Talking of foolish or meaningless, right? Anyways, you simply have an adventuring spirit, so taken to wandering. But it means I'm never quite sure of what I want. Um, Nothing wrong with a little uncertainty. Everything and everyone is in a muddle at least some of the time. All the time in my case, I feel like something's in my past locked away, and however much it scratches, I can't let it out. Maybe I just need an ear or a warm body next to me. Okay, offer a warm body. I'd readily provide either, because you're all paid up till morn. I'm afraid I make poor company tonight. I prefer conversation to a tumble in the sheets. Okay. Perhaps it would surprise you just how many clients want the same. Might you indulge my curiosity? Have you ever had a hornpipe? I beg pardon. What I mean is, have you ever been with a minotaur? Sexual on the intercourse with the main minute. Not exactly. Does it frighten you? Perhaps a tad, but it's nothing I can't handle. I'll take your word for it. So then, is there something you'd like to try after all? Let's give it a go. Whatever you like. Okay, his motions are shaky, unsure. He swoons and clutches his head in regret. Um, the poor man must have really been through the ringer as of late. Sorry, but this isn't how I wanted this to go. But I'm in no right state tonight. It's no trouble really, and it's my job to provide comfort besides. I'm a comfort woman. Thank you, you are quite kind, Miss Reed. If the poor fellow only knew that I'm about to take him for all he's worth. Just let's lie back and I'll fetch some tea caddy. Chamomile? No sleep for the chamomile, he's already sound asleep. Time to rob the sorry sot. Drunkard. Stolen winnings added to inventory. Oh my god. Here's the dosh he won from the Palladium. Trifling easy to slip away now. Enough to pay Green Street off, though only barely. Oh, you're so evil. He's sleeping like a babe. Do we have to go out of the window? I guess. Right, let's do another save. But hey, stuff is finally happening. And we, get to meet other player characters and screw them over. The window latch is the only thing preventing my escape. Okay, let's be on our way. As you scramble around the aged visage of the rose, you're careful not to miss your step. Across the window ledge, a drop into the jutting string course, and a short slide down the water spout. Itsy bitsy spider up the water spout. Less than a child's play in the proper vestments and narrowly possible tonight. Vegas Lane is never entirely deserted, but it looks as close to empty now as you've ever seen. You should be grateful for the absence of onlookers, but the solemn stillness of the street only adds to your unease. There is much riding on these next few steps, and great is the reward should it all go to plan. Well, of course it won't go all to plan. Clara, I'm glad you're here. Ari, what are you doing here? Well, you see, is that a horseshoe? Ariana turns red as she demurely shoves a horseshoe back into her dress pocket. Did you find Felipe? I did. We met upon the wharf. I had thought to return to work, but oh, Clara, so much has happened, and all of it so quickly. And the horseshoe? It's because Felipe cannot afford a horse, not yet. I beg your pardon? He told me the latest fashion for a distinguished gentleman is to present a horse in lieu of a ring to their beloved. He said I deserve the finest mare, and this horseshoe is a promise to ensure just that. He asked me to marry him. Where on earth did he get that idea? I thought you, of all people, would know. Felipe said the idea came from America. Ari hands me a penny paper from her reticule, a mass-produced booklet of serial pulp stories and news highlights of varying credibility. The dog-eared page contains the worst Spanish translation of N.P. Willis's The Upper Ten poem I've ever read. The text reads, "A rule for the distinguished gentleman is first to get a horse, to get a wife." It is meant to read, "As a general rule for the distinguished gentleman is first to get a horse, then get a wife." Uh-huh. Felipe claimed Mr. Willis is quite popular and respected across the pond. Is he wrong? My apologies, Ari, but I have no idea what he's on about. Does that mean you've accepted his peculiar proposal? I asked him to give me the night to think about it, so you're still unsure, Ari. That's not the best of signs. Oh, it's not that I've made my decision. I have, or I think I have, but Felipe wants to leave London. Ariana is not London born nor bred, though she has lived here much of her life. I imagine leaving is no small choice to make. The more I dwell on it, the more I want to go with him, to elope, though I asked for the night to decide in truth. A fair caveat, I would say. I'm trying to deal with one predicament at a time, and if I leave, at least I'll not need to make up the money I refused from Felipe. Officer Kipling cut my early attempt short. There were no clients when you returned to the Rose? There were, though, not enough to cover what I owe. Sorry to hear that, Ari. But what about you? You seem quieter than usual as of late. Evade the observation. I don't want her to know too much. I'm afraid I don't know what you mean. Oh, yes, of course, and I suppose it would be hardly my business if you were. Do you have the means to leave and know where Felipe wants to go? I don't have the means, but Felipe said he'd pay our way. Never good to owe a debt like that. I don't think I would be able to make that leap, worried me. As for where, Felipe told me he wanted to wander for a while. India, Nidavellir. Oh, I always wanted to visit Italy. Yeah, the mythological dwarven homeland. Exactly, I was thinking it's like Norse mythology, like. But I guess yeah, there's dwarves, so I guess there's Nidavellir or Nithavellir, or however you're supposed to pronounce it. Um, Sounds lovely. I'm happy for you, Ari. Well then, I suppose this is goodbye. No need for such sentimentality, Ariana. You'll manage, I'm sure, so long as you keep your wits about you. Ooh, grace increased to 14. Right, alright, Clara. Here's to a fresh start. Off she goes into the early morning hour. If nothing else, she was a reliable confidant in a city that turned its back on me many times. Let her go, wishing her the best. Okay, I got an achievement for that storyline. Poe Pickett. The unfortunate Poe Pickett hunches by the stairs to the Palladium, chin drooping, head heavy with gin soak. Mr. Pickett, are you alright? Was a dribble rabble. Poor fellow doesn't remember our prior meeting. Must be entirely soaked in gin. Mm. Can I help you somehow? Perhaps fetch some water? Dribble, I don't know. Dribble, another dribbling snub rat. Come to pick my pockets while I'm sleeping off the swiller. Well, Big M, Bo Pickett ain't got no Changmin chin. Dribbling and allowing saliva or mucus to flow freely from the mouth or the nose. Okay? Sweet. Excessive bout of drinking, yes. Um, I'm no pickpocket, at least not anymore. He should be able to see from the glad rags I'm wearing that I'm hardly dressed for thievery. Got fine clothing. Although, to be fair, I did just rob someone, yes. Just another snob gun slumming then, is it? Then, if you are not here to rob Bobigat, what are you after? Wealthy person visiting a poor neighborhood for entertainment. Nothing more than a little conversation. Well, I've got a conversation for you. That is, if you don't have any snobbish sort of business at hand. Why not? I will some time to spare. I'm glad you said that. There, here's a good friend of mine. He's gesturing unsteadily at the facade of the Palladium. Go on then, talk to him, I said. Not a soul inside of all the useless rumbums to spend my time. At least this one doesn't mean any harm. And apologies, but I'm afraid your friend here is even less capable of a coherent conversation than you. Ooh, yellow bile, intuition level 12. Oh, come off it then. You're wasting my time. Okay, yeah, what was the point? Well, I got some yellow bile and level up and stuff, so. Yeah, the children missing. Yes. Let's just go here. Trains aren't running right now. I need to cut through the back alley to avoid being spotted. The street just behind me should get me to the wharf. Yes, nothing bad is gonna happen if you go to a dark alley at night. Get out. So this street. Okay. Here's the side alley. Okay. Nearly made it. If I take that side alley to Plaza Soris, I can reach the wharf. In my bullfrog days, we only lifted valuables, never hard capital. Being this lucky feels a bit surreal. Speaking of which, I haven't had a moment to count the money. Yeah, maybe you should do it now. The bullfrogs used to warn us not to count our pay before we were safe at home, but what's the harm in little peek? 100, 150, 200 saints, that's a lot of money. Mighty thanks for confirming. Jemmy? Molly's right hand, the sort that doesn't care if his cleaver hits friend or foe when he starts swinging. And do we have our derringer? Guilty as charged. I thought my cover was blown when you started bobbing and weaving through the streets, but it turns out you're just a shifty vixen by nature. Does Molly know her attack dog is running loose? Does your dear departed husband kin know his black widow's taken up in London? So he knows about the bounty. Has he come to collect? Perhaps I can get around him. My bad luck that I've got the proper shoes on for roof jumping, though I can still lose him in the back alleys. I spied that glance away. You're really going to have me charge after you? Even at a dead sprint is a long shot, and once I reach the wharf, the area's crawling with duckhounds to boot. That money wasn't meant for you, Clara. Molly wanted Atticus to win, but he wasn't supposed to lose it to you. You threw a spanner in the plan. A wrench. Yes. I knew Lefty was up to something. Seldom have I seen the average London lush earn so much at the tables, let alone this small fortune. Molly must have needed Atticus indebted to her. Whatever she's cooking at, it starts with rigging the luck of a gambling drunk. Oh, it's an ambitious plan, that's all I say. When she pulls this off, it'll shake up all of London. Now, here's the rub. You stole that money, so I'm stealing it back. There's nothing for it, I need him out of my way. Is this the best I can do after all? This Jemmy Batteredge, this pompous prick is to be what takes me down? Blast, if I only had my derringer, yeah. Wait, I wanna see. Did I... Like, can I get the... Because I didn't see the... But can I get the derringer back? No, it's not this one. My room. That's at least... No, but let's see. My room. That's when I came to the room. Voodoo. Is this after the conversation? Okay, it is. Best not leave this behind because I clicked the button to. Alright. Yes, I clicked the button to show all the hotspots, but didn't show the derringer unless I was close to it. Okay. I have to do some of the conversations again, but it's just gonna do it real quick. Yes, yes, yes. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, yes, yes. Blah, 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 blah. I guess I'm not gonna tell her. Alright, yeah, we got the race. Okay, and let's talk to Poe Pickett because we got some level up from talking to him too. And yeah, this is the level up. Alright, then let's do a new save. Yes. Get out, get out, get out. Okay, now we have the Derringer. Let's shoot the bastard. Bloody bastard. Jamie. Okay. Okay, now I have discreetly draw your Derringer. Yes. One last warning, Jamie. Gonna take a shot with your pea shooter you hide in up your skirts. You could land 6 shots in me head and chest and I'd still die of old age. That's what I love about me cleaver. Not even a hide like mine can shrug off a good swing. There's a reason the Royal Army's frontline infantry covets Minotaur, so even Gatling guns are a pisser if the shots spread too wide. Disappointing or frustrating? Okay. One shot is enough to enough noise to draw in a copper for a look-see. Are you prepared for a good old-fashioned Barney? A large, chaotic fight often associated with street brawls. Okay. Sounds like a night well spent. Take the shot. The shot misses, his mark collides with his massive cleaver, and just like that, Jemmy is charging, eating up distance between us till he has me by the arm. He raises his cleaver. Butt swings towards me and oh no, I lost my winnings. Where? Try to move. Grrr. Jemmy, that pawns in Molly's blasted games. Awareness is slow coming, but soon enough I find myself blinking up in the caustic glare of London's lamplight. I am alone in Beggar's Lane, of course. My stolen winnings are long gone. As for my hope of departing London tonight, perhaps I could. Yeah, let's get hope back. With what? I'm alive at least. I can figure things out from here, as I always have. What now? Where in the world's many hells do I go from here? We are all in the gutter, but some of us are looking at the stars. A twee sentimentalist notion, quaint or sentimental. My mistake was in believing I was above these games. I'm not. I could not even outmaneuver the simplest of Molly's schemes. Now I'm here, left to face the aftermath with only a headache to keep me company. I try to keep my consciousness and time slips slowly by. For a time I'm content to simply sit and indulge in this wholly unearned self-pity. What now? Horsey, or is it a centaur cop? Ah. It's Yves Chalamet Duval. Would you like a hand, Miss Reed? Have I any choice? Here to hurry me along, officer, lest I be written up for vagrancy. I'm not a Bobby, Miss Reed. My apologies for lumping you in with that lot then. I wouldn't want to besmirch your good name. In the interest of full disclosure, Miss Reed, I counted myself among the blue bands once for the police. I left that life behind me, though, and these days I find myself working cases for a rather generous patron. Not a mutton shunder, then, for all the good that does me. It appears you've been robbed. Uh, I'm afraid I have. Oh, good. Mr. Daly was set up by Molly and her lot. They rigged his tables. They were to take the money of him when he left the bar. Also, I hazard that you would not be lingering in the gutter where your evening going well. Molly again, I should have spotted it sooner. So foolish of me. On the contrary, you were just unlucky. Had Jamie not been lurking about, you would have gotten the money to Green Street, and the doghounds would be loath to take it out of Green Street's hide in the way they did with you. Never underestimate Molly O'Malley, but how did he know that we wanted to, give the money to Green Street? She must have posted someone outside the bar to wait for Atticus to keep tabs on the capital, and my leaving through the window wasn't enough to give them the slip. You knew where I intended to bring the tin. Those that work for Adair's suspicions, those that I work for Adair's suspicions, they surmised your intent to leave London. I do not take kindly to being followed and spied upon. Miss Reed, I'm here on specific business with you. I'm afraid I must ask you again. What do you know of the courtesan killer? For God's sakes, what does it matter? I came here to entreat your assistance, Miss Reed. My patron requests your aid in hunting the perpetrator down. Why of all the horrors in the thrice damned world should I care about this one? My employers have a vested interest in solving this case. That's not an answer. I'm afraid not. Uh, and why do they care which of us streetwalkers lives and dies? They wish to get involved because they wish for the murders to stop. Past that, I cannot pretend to guess my patron's motivation. Is that not enough? Look for more. Fail. Fine is fail. I am not gonna start re-rolling. It is impossible to divine the whims of a shadowy force of people whom you have never met, but perhaps he's right. Perhaps it is enough that they want the slaughter to stop. I guess it's the local umbrella corporation or something, and their monster is on the loose. They want to stop it or something. Alright. Alright. Yes, I'll work with you to find the courtesan killer. You have my aid till the butcher is dead or jailed. Or till the great pit opens itself to swallow up the Thames. The great pit opens itself to swallow up the Thames. A circumstance which seems less unthinkable with every passing year. I make no promises regarding the purchase of my services after the villain is put down. We shall see. I can't make any promises either. But if you're willing to dole out pay and protection, then my skills are yours. Lord knows I've gotten into bed with worse, literally in some cases. I'm pleased to hear that, Miss Reed. For now, I would suggest you return to the Belgian and get some rest. It's not a bad idea. And begging your pardon, Miss Reed, I believe you took quite a thrashing not long ago. It wouldn't do to have you concussed and reeling. A teach of strychnine and a warm bed seems the best course for you. A potent drug. Strychnine. Isn't this also like a poison? He's quite right. I'll send a missive round to the bell jar in the morning. Let you know if anything else comes up. Till then, Miss Reed. Till then. Okay, but finally we are in the murder case. Oscar Wilde. I can resist everything except temptation. Oscar Wilde. Yes, this is a very classical quote. Hmm? We are back as Atticus again, and not the dwarf. So the masked stranger isn't your run-of-the-mill nutter. On a visit to Sacred Heart, you discovered your mother's maiden name, Hathaway, Anne Hathaway, and confirmed that she's being held at Bethnal House, a hospital for the mentally infirm. And Chinwag with Clementine gave you a lead on accessing Bethnal. When you reluctantly raise your eyelids against the leaden light of another day, you find your gaze resting upon a lamp of spent candles, a formless wax tendrils, a testament to long nights gone by. You took your rest in a four-poster, and the heavy blankets grab at you like strong but gentle hands, insisting you return to sleep. The room is warm and musty, but nicely decorated with heavy drapery on all sides and beveled glass in the window to block and any prying eyes from the street below. Whatever transpired between you and Miss Reed has faded to little more than a dim dream, but your performance at the gaming tables returns with crystalline clarity, with a banger that was. Your spirits rise and you abruptly sit up, only to find the bells of St. Clement's thundering inside your skull. But the promise of fat pockets and easy living, at least for a while, tempers a punishing hangover. With renewed purpose, you rise slowly to your feet. And then we find we have no money. Awake now, awake. A new day calls, and you must answer. However must it chafes you. If you continue on this road drinking and dice, well, you've seen where it ends. What in blazes is that infernal racket? Sounds like someone dragging an anvil across a brick road. No, it's nothing, just my hangover. But then again, didn't I hear screams in the night, or was it a nightmare? Uh, I don't know. The kettle drum in my head feels like the result of a pint of absinthe, though I gave it up ages ago. No telling what mix of alcoholic concoctions went down my gullet, but at least I'm alive. Anyway, my luck has finally changed thanks to my brilliant turn at the tables last night. I can at least square my debts with Molly. No, what's this cursed nonsense? Where are my blasted winnings? Another down, another disappointment. I was robbed in the night. Confident no one steals from Atticus daily. But I'd better clear my head before I try to recover my wealth. Hark! Is that the rumble in the pipes? Or or the scraping noise again? Listen. Yes, hark is a good word. Like grossly underused nowadays. This time of day, the Velvet Rose should be quiet as church. Perhaps sounds like, what am I saying? Sounds like it, and it's coming from the next room. Perhaps the thief is still on the premises. I should investigate. Right, let's save the game. Scum check. Sure. Let's check if there's scum around. Uh, I'm not leaving until I'm sure my Dosh is in nearby, and with the racket I heard from the door next door, I should start with look there. Ah, okay, here. Oh, bugger all! Here's a sight to blast even my jaded senses. A hump of a cadaver in a sprawling pool of blood. For one shuddering instant, I fear that the body is Clara Reed, but no, it's someone else, and she is bathed in red, darker red than the floor and walls. The creeping murderer who's been at large in London must have struck again just a few steps from where I was sleeping. There's an unmistakable scent of bergamot in the air, and the furniture is in disarray. That explains the scraping noise I heard earlier. Extracted from dwarf variety of the Seville orange tree, used in cosmetics and as a flavoring in tea. Okay, so it's not like we're, no, it's not like we're gonna be framed for this job or anything. The chiffonier was dragged across the floor where it stands. That explains the scraping sound which woke me before. A cupboard or set of drawers. Chest of drawers. Oh yes. Body. No question, this blood-soaked body is very dead. It's Beatrix. I never spent the night with her, but I remember her face. Her beauty torn and lifted from this earth. Another dolly killed in cold blood. But in their own brothel, supposedly safe haven. No one deserves to die like this. Bloody crow. What's this? An expression of amazement or frustration. If only I were a trained detective, then I'd sure get to the bottom of this terrible business with alacrity. Well, I'm Adventure Argonaut. I'm totally a genuine detective, yo. I'll do what I can, but I can't be sure I'm the hero of this particular tragedy. This is all too much. I need to leave this place. Come on, investigate. Two of these stories from here to the hard cobbles below. Could it have been a cat burglar? Perhaps something with a natural climbing ability. Some monkey man. Nothing but an open window. There's like a clock, timepiece, turnip. What motive would a murderer have for rearranging decor? If I was the one responsible for this brutality, I'd have been halfway to Gloucester by now. Alright. Oh, puzzle at the crime scene. Fuck. It's like 75% chance. So I've done all of this. I've checked the window and yes. Okay, let's puzzle out the. It's better succeed right now. Yes. Taking the whole scene into account, it strikes me that a few items were knocked over as if the result of a struggle. And the chiffonier was dragged from its usual place. Could the room's disarray have been staged for some reason? Maybe she's the killer and she's undead or something, and she's framing something, like framing her own death and stuff. That's clearly it. This is Athena, who supposedly jumped fully grown and ready for combat from Zeus's skull. That's a woman I would like to know. Brothel, yes, that's appropriate. Madame Zora. You, what are you doing slinking around here? Report the crime. You have undoubtedly heard that the courtesan killer. You've undoubtedly heard about the courtesan killer. I'm sorry to report that he struck again. There in the room at the top of the stairs. What are you trying to say? There's a girl lying dead upstairs, and judging by the scene, it looks like the work of the courtesan killer. Saints above, this is troubling, troubling indeed. When word gets out, we could be ruined. I will let the girls know. We'll have to close doors. Do you know anything that might point to the killer? I believe I do, in fact, and I'll tell you for nothing. It's a werewolf or some other deviant behind all this carnage. What else could it be? Interesting, do explain. You've seen the newspaper reports, no doubt, and now you've seen it with your own eyes. What sort of creature could do such a thing? They are vicious brutes, certainly, but you see, madam, the full moon is not till tonight. Perhaps, but a partial transformation is not unheard of, or even full changes in the immediate days that follow and proceed to the full moon. The madam certainly seems to know more about the matter than me. Proprietor of a brothel charged with the protection of employees' day-to-day operations and other duties. Well, she did a shitty job protecting her. Regardless of the trauma induced by each transformation, one's noble restraint gets gradually looser. The body upstairs was certainly torn to shreds, as if the poor dolly was clawed to death. Confident, take note of her scattered attention. Excuse me, but are you muttering under your breath? I haven't the slightest. What was that? Are you telling psalms of in your head right now? A woman was slaughtered not 20 yards from here where we are standing, not long ago either. Well, didn't you wake up high and mighty this morning? I'm running business here. And who are you? Just another John wandered in off the street. This is a job, and my girls rely upon it to pay their way. Perhaps so, but it still seems unduly callous to me. Tell her I was robbed. I had to tell you I've been robbed right here in your fine establishment. Last night I was flush with capital, but I woke up a pauper. I don't know anything about that, except that it was probably the dolly you were with who robbed you. Anyway, what kind of dullard falls asleep in a bordello? Someone lacking in intellect, dunce. Bordello is a house for the plying of the sex trade, a brothel, yes. Perhaps I shouldn't have trusted Miss Reed, but I was overcome with such fatigue that I couldn't help but fall asleep. Step away. Now I must tend to my own troubles, madam. I leave this shambles in your capable hands. Place of disorder or carnage. Run along, bullman. Whatever business you had here is finished. What an asshole. Spittoon. His pail of tobacco juice must have seen lots of coves, or perhaps a single jaw spitter waiting for his perfect match. No cats, dogs, or other equally excitable animals allowed inside. It, it goes on deep in the hands. The madam must really care for the rules around here. Um, Equally excitable, what's that supposed to mean? At least there's no mention of minotaurs. The massive statue of Artemis, goddess of the hunt, which was in fact her sole responsibility. Seems like light enough work. Tooth powder. An oral hygienic floods my nostrils with peppermint. I should really have a brush on the back molars one of these days. Ha! As if I waste my time in such nonsense. You're either born with good teeth or they're bound to fall out. Brass capped replacements cost a penny. Use the powder, sure. My mouth is haunted with the spirits of last night's beans. It's time for an exorcism. Blah! Tastes like someone befouled the holy water. But I got hope. It's only right and proper to suffer for my sins. Okay. Let's see if there's anybody here or anything. Cider bottle. West Country's claim to alcoholic fame graces the table. An area of southwest England that roughly encompasses Devon, Dorset, Somerset, Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, Cornwall, and the Isles of Scilly. How silly. Still full, but I can't stomach cider. Too sweet. Grand piano. Oh, I have to play the grand piano. Isn't this a pretty and expensive little music box? I'd like to smash it to splinters. Atticus, behave yourself. Shut up, you old Hige. Nagging older woman. Yeah, landscapes of other places. I think that one's Morocco. Wonder if you'll ever see anything more of the world than this dismal isle. Alright. Yeah. We're not gonna read all that. Let's just. Maybe we should talk with Clementine about our troubles. She might be helpful. Atticus, look at the state of you. Bit less of the old bonhomie than I'd hoped for, friendliness or geniality. Ask about Penny. About good old Penny. Didn't you say she was coming around? Penny couldn't make it, but I did hear from her. She said that her boss, Dr. Clancy Wainwright, knows more about patients at Bethnal House, names and identities and such. That's the man you want, but she wasn't sure where to find him on his off day. Just what I need, more hoofing it around town. She said you might check at Nandy's shop in Plaza Soris. Apparently, Dr. Wainwright has been consulting Nandy for a secret project. Much obliged. One other thing. Are we Columbo now? One more thing. Listen, mate, I hate to kick a Minotaur when he's down, but you've got to be on your way. Give a sarcastic reply. Oh, that's nice. Good to know I have friends around here. What you're griping daily is becoming unbecoming of a Minotaur. Report the murder. There's been a murder upstairs and the body is a pile of bloody carpet rags. Mutilated, shredded mess, yes. Might be the handiwork of the courtesan killer, so-called. I thought you should know. That's got her rattled. Don't know if I've ever seen claimed that way. Upstairs! Right under our very noses. Who was it, Atticus? It was Beatrix, I believe. Beatrix Potter. Bloody hell! She might have been a bit of a diva, but no one deserves to go out like that. I didn't know her well, but I know she was quite popular around here. Aye, killer must be bold as brass to strike in the middle of the roast. There's going to be hell to pay. Whatever she says, Clem clearly cares about the girls that work here. Last, all I got to say is that Loon better steer clear of Clementine. He tries something like this again, I'll stick a sheave so far up his guts he can pick up his teeth with it. I like that. Okay, it's all about being robbed. Clem, I was cleaned out. Crikey! You have a knack for getting into trouble. Do you at least know who ran off with your readies? Money on one person. Said it was Clara. After my night upstairs with Clara Reed, I woke up skinned. Every last farthing I won at the tables is gone. I have no idea what it's about. Still behaving like some young pup in from the counties. Then I can't believe Miss Clara would have done it, though I've been wrong before. There's a reason gentlemen don't hang about here after hours. I'm certain it was Clara Reed who robbed me. The question is why. Well, it's obvious. Money. And what about this long-lost mother of yours? Penny's put her job at risk asking on your behalf. Well, we get XP for this, so let's use this. You're getting quite handy at giving a lecture. I hear they've a need for that at the university college. Oh, just bugger off then. Let that teach you to be overly flippant. Clem, I'm having a real tough time of it. The roughest, in fact. How about a drink? Let me guess, you'd rather not pay for it. Don't get me started in the bill you ran up last night. Well, sure, it'd be prudent to watch my spending after being robbed. You mentioned that, but listen, love, I can't prop you up anymore. The days of you drinking tab are finished. It's already the stuff of legend. I warrant the drink's the last thing you need. Goodbye. I'd better get about my business. Watch out for yourself. Here's hoping I see a better footing, Master Diet Daily. Till next time. Alright. Is there anybody else here? I hope we get to kick somebody's ass because we're Minotaur. It's too bad I was taken for. I could have turned my life around with that money. Robbed. Yes, it usually sucks when you get robbed. So many prayers to Lady Luck, but she's never been on my side. Jamie. Oh, it's this guy, okay. Too bad we don't know what he did. He took my money. This is sort of lame. Like, as a player, you of course know what he did, but the character doesn't, and now you have to pretend. Molly's a ward healer, an operative doing chores or other tasks for the leader, and a debt collector waiting for me with a vinegary look on his gob, his mouth or face. Old Jemmy is a hardened bruiser. I hope for my sake he's not here about my debt to Molly. It all started with a bad string of bets on rat baiting and a few bare knuckle brawls I narrowly lost. Yeah, confident. Try to soften it up. Jamie, if I don't miss my guess, you're a gin drinking minotaur, right? Aye, that I am. In fact, my old da was a bootleg gin distiller. Look at this. To my utter surprise, the oversized stag produces a pint bottle from his coat pocket and hands it to me. Go ahead, take it. See that label there? Jeremiah Gin. He was quite a rake in his day. That worked out better than I hoped. Oh, we got gin. Thanks, Jemmy, but someday I still hope I get the chance to kick your teeth in. That's right, old chap. Channel the anger into something useful. Now that we dealt with the pleasantries, Mistress Molly sent me to offer you a favor. She has generously arranged for you to work off some of your outstanding debts. Intimidating. Take a swipe at Jamie. Sure. I take a swipe at the Great Lamarx. What's the worst that could happen? Dismemberment, disembowelment, decapitation, that's just a D's. Yeah, let's attack. God, fuck it. I wanna succeed. Like, I don't think we're gonna kick his ass or anything, but I wanna succeed and see what happens at least. First this one. Alright, take a swipe. Okay, we succeed. Never mind all that, I'm taking him down. Okay, that's fucking lame. A penny paper lies in the rain puddle, sodden and scarcely legible save for these lines. Minotaur body found, no known relatives, service held with Sacred Heart arms accepted. That's fucking lame, I have to tell you. At least fucking give me like I succeed and oh you succeed, well you die. Fuck you game. That's absolute bullshit. That's just like I don't if you don't want me to beat him up, then just say like no he's too tough I can't beat him up. That's lame, but that's not like super lame. Like god damn it. The game is doing its best to anger me right now. Hold your head high. You don't scare me, Jemmy. From one maverick to another, just tell me what I need to know. Unbranded livestock, usually cattle, one who displays independent of and reckless thoughts or actions. Listen, Macaulay. Dana Cully, Dupe or Mark, I'll clear this up for you right now. We know that Clara Reed fobbed your door. She's a dolly. So they tell us? She's a dolly, isn't she? She's after one thing only. Consider last night's reminder for that. Very well, since you haven't cut me in half yet, I assume you are going to tell me how I can make this right. First, smart thing you've said today. Go talk to Molly at the tavern. I suggest you clean out the wax out of your ears first. She wants to give you this assignment personally. Okay? So once I head out there, I should go straight to the tavern. So wait, I can't. I want to go to Nandy's shop first. But I don't. Oh, coat check. Can we get a coat? None of these coats compares to my performing magician's top coat with gorgeous swallowtail back. Yet another thing I hawked to cover my debts. Yeah, okay. Oh, wait there. Water closet. Ooh. This public toilet is much more civilized than pissing in the gutter. I don't have to go just now. I'm glad to know they provide service. So yeah, I don't think there's much point in using illusion magic or anything. So I don't know what's the point. There's not much I can do here. And save and then just go. That's just fucking bullshit. Like you succeed in the role and then you die. Like at least have it be like an even match or something. Like oh, I cannot defeat him, but I fought well or something, and then we continue. But that's just bullshit. Experience is simply the name we give our mistakes. That they really love Oscar Wilde. And now we are back in Clara Reed's shoes. Your performance at the Palladium was interrupted by Atticus Daly, a minotaur who was in his cups as well as in the chips. After a heart-to-heart in the Velvet Rose, you relieved him of his winnings, only to lose the money after getting the bushwhacked by Molly's chief goon Jemmy. Just before dawn, Eves gave you his take on Killer's latest victim. Mahogany and gold trim trails along the wallpaper. The paintings and fixtures are hung so high that they're an absolute nightmare for the maids to dust. The electric lamps are at the forefront of the technical design, retrofitted to the oil lamp sockets of old, and the high ceilings make for an airy ambience where style is favored over substance. Your telescope and the other homes and necessities clash with the ornate decorations of the suite with your clientele, including Tenor Cunningham of seemingly bottomless pockets. You can well afford the monthly rate. The suite is as temporary a residence as any you've ever had since you left America, allowing for an escape from the chaos of London while at the same time never feeling exactly like home. I just think like maybe the dwarf is the killer, or like Otto, like Teddy or Otto is the killer because that's that's my guess. That's why he's one of the player characters, because these two characters are sort of investigating the murders, but Teddy doesn't really seem to have anything to do with it. Nothing like a good rest after a night of disappointment. Mr. Chalamet Duval's promised missive seems to have arrived. Did Suri slip the letter beneath my door? Or perhaps one of Eve's mystery colleagues is to blame. No point putting it off, I suppose. Miss Clara Reed, please hasten to the Velvet Rose at your first earliest convenience. It is with deepest regrets and condolences that I must inform you of the passing of one Beatrix Aguirre sometime after midnight last evening. Signs indicate that the death is connected to the work of the courtesan killer. Respectfully, I would urge you to consider what we spoke of last night. My employers greatly desire your presence at the Rose, as well as your assistance inspecting the body. Please do not delay. My sympathies for the loss of your peer. Yours, Yves Chalamet Duval. Passing of Beatrix Aguirre, which one like loses less hope? Beatrix God's wounds. I spoke to her just last evening. No. Frigid bastards. Tact. I suppose I should be getting on with it then. I've little other choice. No. Bacon. Then I get some sanity from Bacon. Here's Bacon, as handsome as always. I must say, he livens up the place even if he gets fur all over. Meow. Oh. Can I have some tea to get some hope? No, okay. Let's just see if there's anything here. Annoying turning camera. Writing ball. Hanson writing ball, whatever. Yeah. Okay, there's nothing here really. Let's just go. Yeah, we only got two quests. What's Iron Bear doing here? It's rare to see him without Tenor nearby. Greet him. Bear, good morning. What brings you here today? I thought Tenor didn't require my services until this evening. That is correct. However, with the events of night previous, Cunningham thought my services as a bodyguard might be more useful elsewhere. Egad, has what the egad? Has word spread so quickly? It's London, of course it has. Tenor can be overbearing, but I'm lucky this is all he did. Convince Iron Bear you don't need Minder. Ah, while I appreciate your concern, I must stress that the events of last night shall not be repeated. Please convey my greetings to Tenor and assure him I will see him this evening. Okay, I'm gonna reload. This just pisses me off. 81% chance to succeed and we fail. I don't appreciate it. I don't take kindly to. Come on, don't be a retard. Don't be a tuna head. Don't be a tuna head. What the fuck is this rigged to fail? Even more reason I have to save scum. Finally. While I appreciate your concern, blah blah blah, yes. It is good to see you are well. He's not leaving. The tenor required that you remain glued to my side. So what's the point in this die roll if it doesn't make a difference? He failed to specify. Well, in that case, I have things I must do today. I'm certain you do as well. Cunningham is concerned for your well being. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he included himself in that. Suggest a compromise. Look, since I'm sure you have better things to do than follow me around, what if we agree to meet later at the tavern? I believe that could be arranged. Thank you, Iron Bear, truly. Good day, Miss Reed. A kingdom for some respite from all of this. A shiro, dingdom for a shiro. Hello again. Ask about the courtesan killer. You keep up with the news, Suri? I don't suppose you recall any strange visitors last month. This is about that girl, Hannah. Was it the one who turned up dead last month? You remember her? Of course I do. The poor dear, she was staying with us in one of the less fancy rooms for a spell. I believe she was killed in the hotel itself. What, really? Saints, but that's a chilling thought. Apparently, some residents heard quite a scuffle the night of the murder. I suppose it's possible. Poor dear, I had no idea. Did she have any visitors the night of the murder? Specifically, I'm afraid not. Plenty of people in and out that night, though. Damn. What happened to her personal effects after the crime? The bobbies took most of it after the fact, except for a few bits and bobs. Suri produces a worn hairbrush with a carved ivory handle from a drawer set within the reception desk. This was hers. Might be a titch morbid, but I've been using it myself, truth be told. It's yours if you like it, if you need it for evidence or some such. You were using dead woman's hairbrush? Suri shifts uncomfortably. But it's not like she was using it, was she? I couldn't let it go to waste. You ought to be ashamed for yourself. Suri blushes high and fierce. Oh, like you're any better. Better to change the subject, though I'm glad the brush is in my possession now. If I have any further questions, I'll be back. I'll be back. Of course, Miss Reed, I'll be here. Okay, we got some crap. We have so many items. Hannah's hairbrush. I'm not likely to find anything else here. Um, so we are supposed to go to the bell jar. No, the Belvedere house. We came from Belgium. So I guess there's nothing really to do here. Tessica. Clara, ginger cake, it's you. What are you doing here? Tessica, my dear. Good to see you. Though I'm afraid I'm pressed for some rather dire business, I haven't time for proper chaff. Banter or chit chat? Oh, seems like you do little else than chase dire straits these days, Dove. Still, I've never known you to snub an invitation. What's so pressing about this business in particular, if you permit the curiosity? Perhaps it's best to confide in good Miss Lincoln. Sitting all day in this atelier of humanity, one must hear their fair share of gossip. An artist studio or workshop. Perhaps I should keep those not already embroiled in this case at arm's reach. It's likely paranoia, but it wouldn't do to drag Tessica into without cause. Yeah, let's confide. Let's try to get her killed. Out here among the crowds, I'm sure your astute ear could learn all sorts of things. I hear my share of canards, that's quite true. Unfounded rumors or hearsay. I got to the quick, then a gumshoe has enlisted my help in the dispensation of justice for the courtesan killer. Oh, ask her what she's seen. Have you seen anything amiss? Any Polly with an old beau that seems the jealous type? A long-term sex worker or escort? And John's prostitute clients who enjoyed the service of one of the victims, perhaps some pestilent creature with 7 eyes out to maul and dismember the honest workers of the night? I'm afraid I know many of the former, and far too many to be of use. As for the latter, well, I should count my lucky stars that the worst I've seen of late was a sickly looking domovoy and a bender. Somehow I doubt that's relevant to your cause. The Slavic household spirit. Yes, I know all about domovoy thanks to Black Book, the game I streamed a few months ago. Haven't seen any domovoys in this game before. Domovoy, did you say? Oh, it was quite the encounter when one takes commissions for a portraiture within a manor house. I've learned one should first ask if there are any house spirits with a predilection to pop in and unquet guests in the water closet, washroom, or toilet. WC. Scandalous. Don't look so down, ginger cake. I think I might have something of use all the same, though I need a promise from you first. A promise? I don't doubt your character, but I worry that what might have happened should word get out that I have information on the case. From Bobby's or the killer themselves, can I trust you to keep the name off your lips if the mother shunters demand it? Okay, sure, let's give my word. Of course, the guy will take more than some peanut to make me sing. A policeman in review, yeah, to make me sing. I've been in worse scrapes with their kind before, as well as you know. As well as I know. She's courteous enough that her gaze doesn't wander the scar we know mars my right calf. It was from such an encounter. Ugly business, though I still walked away in fitter shape than the one who left it. Very well then, come closer, Dove. I've no desire to share this with the whole city. This close to Jessica, I catch the scent of her perfume through the dust and acrid vapors of London, Bluebell and Club. Nostalgic scent that conjures visions of woodlands. I reside in the Belchar, as you know, and though the dreadful slaughter last month was found by Street and Linwood, was found by Cannock Street and Linwood in the end, I think whatever might be started at the hotel. In the Belchar, do you think such a thing happened beneath the notice of so many? The killer is either wildly bold or profoundly foolish. I heard two voices, two women. One of them had a familiarity about it, though I still can't place where I might have heard them prior. One was a rougher dialect, perhaps the lady of the night who thereafter met her end. Shame she can't recall where she heard it, but useful information nonetheless. The other was more posh. I wouldn't have recalled the experience at all, if not for the cacophonous bickering that occurred later, and well, for one other reason. What that might that reason be? There was a coarser sound that goings on, some deep growling that I heard through the walls now and again. How odd. If I may be blunt, Dove, at first I took it for nothing more than a raucous pair of pearl divers with a penchant for roughness. Dishwashers, okay. Normal enough for the Belchar if one pays attention to such things and knows how to look. There must be more to it than that to have caught Tessica's eye. Hehehe, caught her eye literally because she has only one. Anyway, the meeting escalated to shouts. It became clear that whatever was going on was confrontation of sorts. Belchar is no stranger to confrontation. To shake a resident of the place is no mean feat. Even then, I might have chalked it up to normal spat were it not for the girl they found next morning, not too far from the hotel. It's possible it's related to a killer, then again, it could be a simple coincidence. Naturally, as you can see, it isn't much to go on. There's every chance the spat I heard had nothing whatsoever to do with the killing. But if it does line up, it might put you in the killer's sights, particularly if you should recall where it was you heard the voice of our would-be murderess before. That it would. Um, Thank you for speaking with me, Tessica. I promise not a soul will know of it but me. Ooh, tact to level 21. And and thank you for that, Ginger Cake. Now perhaps we should chat about something less menacing. Anything you heard lately? Afraid not, Dad, but you'll be the first to know if I have anything juicy to share. I look forward to it. Okay, urchins in the city seem to be thriving. Yes, for certain definition at least. Why, just the other day there was some quite the brouhaha over Kensington way. A noisy, excited reaction to something. Kensington was some affluent London borough. Oh, indeed. It seems the cutpurse got into a spot of trouble with the law, but before the mutton shunter could administer a beating, some chap in a topper sent a carriage careening into market stall. A poor barrister got his leg broken, so it was a top hat guy. A topper, could it be the lads, man? Is taking my words to heart. Fascinating tale. Thank you for telling me. The city's wolves are gathering for another full moon. Indeed, I do so hate those exclusion zones. One would think that a city believes itself as advanced as London could develop an alternate solution. Perhaps a more final solution to the werewolf problem. Is that what she's meaning? Neither Tessica nor I are London born. I'd like to think that moving around so much has broadened our horizons. The Bruslavian population has never had issues with their lycanthrope majority. They have the proper infrastructure in order to deal with the change. Those of Bruslavia, a country in southern Europe, so yeah, it's like some werewolf country. Well, yeah, but because it's a werewolf country, it makes sense that they have, if you live in China, you're more likely to find, I don't know, somebody proficient in Chinese than in, I don't know, in Sweden or something. Anyways, we haven't even the infrastructure in place to keep the reek of the Thames at bay, exactly. Indeed, different problems for different cities, I suppose. It seems the Christian missions have been trouble in the East End. So I've heard something about financial woes marring the soup kitchen program, if I recall correctly. Shame in some ways, think of how many souls would refrain from sin had they proper access to food. Oh, or how focused artists would be on their paintings if their bellies were kept quiet. An unenviable struggle, my dad. We do what we must. Okay, I'm off. Take care of yourself, blah 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 blah. Alright, let's go to the roast then. But hey, we got some clues. Not sure what how relevant it's gonna be, but it's clue. Savelas, the elf. Enter the Palladium. Are we gonna get arrested for stealing the money? It appears to be a copy of the London Journal, a small to middling paper, often prone to gossip mongering and fluff. The front page story glares out in brazen black ink. Courtesan killer speaks. There's a half-tone reproduction of a letter penned in cramped and messy script. Read it. My salutations and regards. Hey, it's Arch Warhammer. He always says something about salutations and stuff. I've had such a good time with these dollies thus far. The last one was quite full of piss and verb, but great fun all the same. I love what I do what I love, and my love will flip London on its head. The gabbers and bluecoats are up in arms about me, true, but the bobbies are tossers, and it hardly matters anyway. The gabbers, people prone to gossip and just cops. And no, tossers are wankers. Anyway, I'm a proper beast and shan't ever be caged. Things have been quiet of late, but nothing lasts forever. Hold this letter back till print, keep it from Lucon's hands till then, and I shan't come scratching at your door next. Humbly yours, the Cannock Courser. Sorry. Anyways, how remarkably callous, how bleak to have one's life ripped literally to shreds, and your killer given voice for their heinous acts is probably not the real killer. It's just some prank letter. We'll find the fields responsible for this. Lefty. Clara, good to see you again, love. Naturally, you've heard about the murder in the Rose. Chills the blood just to think of it. For a moment, I can see the tiniest crack in Lefty's cool facade. Och, aye, this enough to give a lassie nightmares if she's vulnerable to a kind of thing. Um, I take it you're not bothered though. She's too ugly to be killed or something. Nay, a wee bit. I've tussled with the worst London has to offer, though I suppose this could set a new bar. You don't have any idea who's responsible, do you? Nay, nay, the only thing I can for certain is he's a barmy bastard. Okay, that's enough about that. As you wish, bye bye. Yeah. Clementine. Miss Reed, right along face. We turned into a horse, that's why. Believe it or not, Clem, I'm here to inspect the body. You're here to inspect the body. Were you secretly a police special this whole time then? Detective or special investigator? Far from it, I assure you. No point in explaining to Clem how I ended up in this mess, especially when I'm unsure of the finer details myself. Listen, you know I care for all the girls here, and I know you do it too. It's terrible what happened last night, right under our noses. If only I could. She cuts off, shaking her head. There's nothing I can do, I know that, plain as day, but you, Clara, might just have a chance. You think so? Aye, I do. You're witch smart, and you care about the girls, too. Don't try to deny it. There's no one else I'd rather have on the case. I'm not near as certain of that myself, Clem. Oh no, we lost hope. Oh my duck, if you don't, who will? Fair point. Now you best get upstairs, nothing be learned hanging around here. Right you are. Maybe I have more of a chance to track down Skiller than I thought. At the very least, it's good to know Clem supports my efforts. La, 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 la. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do a save. Read Richards. Okay, fine. Let's go to the crime scene. Oh, there's another newspaper. It's the same newspaper. Yeah, it's the same one. Ooh, right. Went to cough. Went out for a cough. Okay. Good day, Mr. Reed. Go ahead. I cleared your room for you. Are we some private eye from States, or why is he so intent on hiring us for this job? Or maybe he's the killer and he wants us to investigate it and then find out and then kill us. The air in this room is stifling. It's that solid sense of dread that you only find next to a corpse. Quite different from simply reading about the courtesan killer in the papers. Every problem seems inconsequential until it's at your doorstep. Beatrix, we may have had our spats, but you didn't deserve this. Would it be pertinent to look around the room or inspect the body first? Claw marks. The rake and spacing of these claw marks seems oddly uniform. How does the old saying go? Symmetry is rarely found in nature. On the contrary, symmetry can be found in nature often if memories of my college days serve me. A twee saying, really. Bloody sheets. The concentration of blood suggests that the struggle began on the bed and proceeded until she hadn't the energy to continue. Bea's hair comb. Beatrix's golden hair comb. She claimed it was a family tradition for the mother to gift one to her daughter after her first client, crowning her a proper worker, a member of the oldest profession, as it were. Slang term referring to prostitution. The only time I left her head was when she'd polish it and then stash it under her pillow before bed. Uh, Take it to place it back in her hair. This is a kindness I should grant Beatrix. She never parted with it in life, nor should she in death. Okay, but it might be evidence. Pocket watch. Okay, now we can look at the pocket watch. This pocket watch looks rather familiar. Have I seen it before? The interior of the cover is engraved with a decorative image of a bird in flight. There appears to be a significant scratch marring the image. Take the watch. I'll hold on to this and see if I can't inquire after its owner. Maybe Anselina over at the curio shop could enlighten me. Let's do a save in case we get die rolls or something. Okay, window. One of two places the killer could have entered the room, the other being the door, of course. I run my fingers along the wood grain near the hinges, feeling for any splintering. If the killer entered this way, it appears they didn't force the window open. Okay, the body. A lifeless and torn up body lies smouldering on the brothel floor. By the saints, it's all the more haunting up close. Return the comb to Beatrix. Yeah, Beatrix's hair is not matted with blood, save for where it has pooled around her head, um, where it rests upon the ground. I brush several stray strands from her face before sliding her golden comb back to where it belongs. Least I could do, Beatrix. Nothing more to worry about now. Just rest. We'll all earn that much, at least. Let's just get on with it, shall we? Uh, okay, where shall we start? Inspect the body. Okay, inspect the body with intelligence. Alright, let's reroll. Although I don't know how much it really matters that we fail these rolls. Okay, we succeed. Her injuries appear to be puncture wounds primarily, with some slashes and rips interspersed. Puncture wounds? What sort of, like, is it like a dagger, a knife, claws? By dagger, I mean a sword or a, I don't know, halberd. Many of these wounds are surprisingly neat. Whatever inflicted them was sharp and precise. Then it could be like Otto, like the robot or something. Can it climb through the window? The cause of death was most likely blood loss, or perhaps asphyxiation. Either way, her neck is now little more than a pulpy, bloody mess which sits congealing on the blood. Her chest and lungs likewise have been badly damaged. Observe the room. Okay. Observe the blood splatter. Yeah, I will succeed at both. I will not give up. Ah, and now I accidentally took the comb. Okay, I accidentally. Okay, but let's do this then. Observe the blood splatter. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Okay, we succeed in this. Nope. Come on, game. Just let me succeed. There's no point in failure really here, except to, Okay, well, we did it this way this time. Doesn't really matter. The blood trails crisscross every which way across the bedding and floor, but there's something off about this. There are no footprints in the blood, save for an incidental print here or there. No scruff or smudges left by the foot nor shoe as I might have expected from such a fight. Inspect the body. Okay, we got them both fine. Oh, intellect increased to 17. Nice. Okay, that's enough for now. Then I like go back to exploring the body and roll the other stuff because I don't wanna down on the street, whatever. Save, you fool. No. I guess they don't. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna try the other options then. The other rolls. Whatever. That's all I give. Before we start, I thought I might let you know the prevailing theory now that you've had the opportunity to inspect the room for yourself. Let's hear it then. The authorities believe that the crime was not committed by self-possessed hands. Specifically, they are working on the assumption that this killing was committed by a lycanthrope. Given this, as well as the last killing's proximity to the full moon. And what do you believe? Suffice to say, there are many aspects of this case that do not make sense to me. Indeed, there are cracks in that conclusion, least of all that last night was not the full moon proper. Some werewolves have been known to lose their heads in the days preceding it, but it is far from a universal affliction. I would do best to reserve my judgment and, for that matter, consider how much I am willing to share with my friends here. But sharing our findings will be mutually beneficial for us both insofar as understanding the case goes. That means that it is hard to trust this unknown man, let alone his shadowy backers. So, Miss Reed, you see the body, anything you'd like to share? Um, Nasty work, though hardly my first time seeing a dead body up close. Can you expand on that, mademoiselle? Too numerous to remember every instance, saints, that's rather an alarming notion now that I think of it. Perhaps another time, detective. He still has ways to go to earn my trust, but thus far he does not seem particularly untrustworthy at least. There was a watch among the things in the room. I wondered if I might take it and attempt to identify its origin myself. That is fine with me. I'll make sure the proper authorities know where the item has gone. Move along and discuss your inspection of the crime scene. The whole scene was unusually gruesome, horrific tableau. The wounds on her body were inflicted by something sharp, piercing. Sure, she had the detail. The wounds on the victim's body were made by something sharp and puncturing. An interesting observation. Please go on. I got footprints stood out to me. Okay, let's share it. What strikes me as odd is that there are no footprints in the blood, not from shoe, paw, or hoof for that matter. Indeed, I had similar concerns. If she and her assailant were engaged in prolonged fight, why is there so little sign of her attacker's presence in the room? Why did no other residents of the Rose come to investigate the noise? Those are the details that struck me as particularly strange. Just found a considerable amount of evidence which he did not. Leave it be. I hope that the information I found will prove useful. His mouth twitches for a moment as if he were anticipating the need to retort. Yes, I expect he will. I must say, Miss Reed, I am impressed with your observational skills. You may have missed your calling as a private detective. Of all the many roles I played throughout my life, police special is not one I ever considered. We made good progress here, Miss Reed. Let me know if there's anything else. Certainly. One more thing. I generally refrain from dealing directly with them, but the dog hounds have eyes and ears all over London. Molly O'Malley may be privy to some details regarding the perpetrator's true identity and whereabouts. Molly O'Malley, wonderful. By the by, Miss Reed, I would like to fill you in on what we know about of the other victims. It's important to know what we are walking into. All right, what should I know? What would you like to discuss first? Okay, the first killing. Okay, what would you pin as the first incident of this case? Can you tell me about this victim? The first reported victim was washerwoman by the name of Rachel Nichols. Nichols, that sounds familiar. Like maybe it is from the Jack the Ripper victims. Like Nichols, maybe I don't know. Or maybe I'm just confusing it with Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura in Star Trek, but whatever. I recall hearing of her death. The papers claim she was streetwalking when it occurred, though I'd never encountered her in any circles that I am privy to. Indeed, Miss Nichols had her issues with gin and was sleeping rough outside of some shop or public house the night of her death, surrounded by a tidy collection of Jonathan Silver gin. So yeah, sleeping on the streets and stuff. The self-same gem I received from Glenn Forrester must be a favorite of his as well. Exact the same. So he's the killer. Though I found no indication she ever worked as a dolly, let alone on that evening in particular. But the papers reported as much. I can't say I'm surprised. A body was found several months past at the height of summer. I sense a butt coming. However, I am given to believe that there was an incident that predated even heirs. Gwen Saney, whose body washed up on the Thames some 2 months prior to Miss Nichols. So a recent victim of the courtesan killer. Gwen Saney, have you heard about her? Share what you learned about Gwen Saney. Yeah, because I don't remember what exactly. I believe I might have a connection to Miss Saney. Ariana spoke of her just last evening, a fellow seamstress from her early years, if memory serves. Ariana was quite concerned about the circumstances of her death. That is fortuitous for us. We should track this woman down and question her on what she may have learned of Miss Saney's death. Ariana left London last night. That will be quite difficult, I'm afraid. Ariana Luttrell eloped with her lover Sunshine last night. I have no idea where she is now, but it will take some doing to find her in a timely manner. Is that so? All the same, I shall expend my resources to locate her. In the meantime, there are other leads that we should follow. Mention Bruce Labia. Ariana said Gwen was raised in Bruslavia. Given our suspicions regarding lycanthropes, that information feels particularly relevant. Indeed, that is quite the break. Well done, Miss Reed. Fantastic work. We will have to keep it in mind moving forward. Certainly. It's a lot to take in. What about the murders not in the papers? Have you heard of any other killings of this type that were not reported on? As you know, this woman was not the first victim of this particular modus operandi, a pattern or method of operation. He chose his phrasing carefully there. To answer your question, neither the crime scene nor the particulars of the victim are unique. They follow an obvious pattern, of course, that which popular consciousness is privy to, and other similarities besides. I knew these atrocities were particularly gruesome, but it would seem many particulars of the case have been left out of the public knowledge. There were similar incidents that not for one reason or another have not been taken up by the press. Tragically, even accounting for them, there is little to go off in terms of identifying a suspect. Little, but not nothing. The edge of his lip curls up for a moment, almost imperceptibly. Indeed, in fact, there is something I'd like to show you. I have such sights to show you. He reaches into his inner breast pocket and produces a labeled medicine bottle. This was found on the body of a victim I believe to be related to the case. Gordon Gray's patient panacea for men, guaranteed to cure impotence, boldness, aggressive personality, humor imbalance, afflictions of the blood. My, is there anything it doesn't cure? I have already been to Mr. Gray's shop in Plaza Zoris and spoken to him, but I found nothing of consequence. I did, however, have the suspicion that he may not have been entirely forthcoming. Perhaps you might succeed where I did not. I'll pay him a visit as soon as I have the chance. Okay. This tincture was taken from the body of, of a Dullymop by the name of Casey Lowgry. Recent victim of the Courtesan killer. Not a name the papers picked up on. It would seem not. He was found last month, only 2 days after Hannah Lind was butchered on Cannock Street. His body was in much the same state as hers. So Hannah Lind is the victim, and we have her comb now. A rough and dimly lit street in the east end of London. Precisely as I thought, story is a sensationalist wreck. Anything that does not fit cleanly with the story is either warped beyond recognition or else left out entirely in a retelling. Thank you for the lead. I'll see what I can turn up. Best of luck, Miss Reed. I'm sure you'll come up upon something worthwhile. I hope he's right. So, anything you can tell me about Hannah Lind, last month's victim? We talked about her. You are familiar with her. She used to work for the Rose. Myself and other girls here remember her well enough. C'est bien. I'm sure that will be helpful if you build a case. That's good. Indeed. Annalene, just as the others were, she had been badly brutalized. Her body was a mess, and several of her organs were not present among the viscera. Ah, so they took her organs. Just the same as the senseless slaughter that occurred last night. Can you tell me what Anna's time at the Velvet Rose was like? I was not particularly close to Miss Lynn, but I recall her employment here ending perhaps 2 years ago. Were the circumstances of the deceased's departure amicable? They seem to be. As far as I'm afraid, she relocated to the south bank of the Thames. It was Madame Zora who suggested a more local brothel. She moved as planned and was thereafter employed with them. There were no hard feelings to speak of. It heard much the same already, but thank you for sharing your perspective, Miss Reed. Always a pleasure to help. Anything else I should know? I'm afraid that is all I know of the other victims. Thank you for the information. As you said, I think it's best we follow up on these leads for the time being. Of course, Miss Reed. Best of luck. So, are we supposed to go check on these leads now? Okay, I don't want to talk about the victims. Can we inspect something? Okay, fine. I guess let's just go. What clues do we have? So we have the apothecary, Gray, Gordon Gray, and the curio shop. Maybe go to the curio shop first. Ask about the watch. Right, we can actually go to the street without ending the chapter. But let's see. Let's just see if there's. This is where we were marked. Okay, but let's go to the curio shop. Then save again. Hello again, dearie. What can I help you with? I wonder if you can tell me anything about this pocket watch. It's a fancy one. Anybody could tell you that. Real gold plate, and yes, I've seen it before. Is that so? Are you sure? Yes, certainly. See the inside lid, an engraving of a bird with a great bloody scratch across the beak. What a shame, but I recognize it well. Sold it to a chap a while back. Do you remember when you sold it? A few months back, at least. Might have been more than a few. Can you remember about the man you sold it to? Can you tell me about the man? He'd been in the shop before, but I might have seen him around the neighborhood. A tall fellow, lean but not scrawny. Okay, well, doesn't seem like a dwarf. Um, didn't look moneyed at all, but gave an impression of great strength. Stunning head of hair on him too, ginger and thick. Ginger. Mm. Of course, it doesn't mean that whoever bought the watch is the killer, but it's, you know, might have lost it in a like gambling or whatever. Sounds like Miss Kemeny has a bit of a crush on this mystery man. A girl could do worse, that's my opinion. Do you recall the man's name? I believe so. Sean? Shimon, maybe? Oh, Sykes. It's the guy who was in the brothel. Yeah, who. And he had some altercation with Beatrix. That's the one. You don't know him, do you? I made his acquaintance. I knew I recognized the watch. That's more than a little suspicious, seeing as I found it at the crime scene. It's almost too suspicious. Sykes may have forgotten it or could have easily been planted there. There's something else I'd like to discuss. Uh, on second thought, I'd like to know more about your thoughts on this pocket watch. So, does she have something else to say? This watch didn't find its way to you from the lost and found, did it? Perhaps not. Is its owner still with us? You mean, are they dead? Not insofar as I am aware. Aye, that'll be it then. There's plenty of lingering on this watch, but it's not attached to the deceased, not directly at least. Not sure I follow. Tell me, Clara, have you ever seen a spirit? Several, in point of fact. Not this nonsense again. I hoped I was past this. What would you say if I had? That I'm not surprised. You had an air about you, bit of whatever it is. Oh, chameleon. I know what you mean. I tried to perform my fair share of magic in the past, though I'm no half-blood fae nor some shapeshifter in human form. Fae. Fairies, fairfolk, mythical being of European folklore. Interesting. That said, the gift doesn't have to be all flashes and excitement. You see the truth of things, and that's no small feat. I've enough problems in the real world as he is not keen on taking on magical ones by dint of my arcane skills. If you got items from a person who has passed away, bring them to me, alright? If I'm correct, we might be able to have one last chat with the really departed. Well, I'll let you do the magical honors. Not me, Clara, you. This isn't some sacred wisdom from my traveler mom. Ritual that some gacho is trying to ape for coin. Someone not Romani descent. Uh-huh. Angelina spits upon the ground. Can't rightly say what it is or why. I've just been around long enough to pick up some things up. I'd wager this isn't the first time you've seen death or had run in with the other side. Okay. Would any item from the deceased work? Not just anything, it had to be something meaningful. Will you be more specific? Hairbrush. Angelina laughs. Afraid not, my dear. That's enough for some. What's enough for some isn't enough for others. Sometimes nothing is enough to claw something out of the behind the veil. And I'm not trained in this sort of thing. It just seems enough to make it work. Okay, keep it in mind. Say goodbye. It's nice to see you, Miss Kemeny. I'll be on my way. You're welcome back anytime. It's lovely having you stop by. Wait, so can't we ask her about the items belonging to the courtesan killer's victims? Yes. How's it all meant to work? This part is simple as you please, not like a proper seance, a big flash chinwag with the deadly departed. Fashionable or valuable or charming chat, okay. That's good to see her. There's only so much chin wagging of that sort I could take. It's about what you can do when you set out. All I need from you, my duck, is to have a sip of this and hold those trinkets in hand. What is it? This? Earl Grey and lavender. Best take a tick to relax before this sort of thing. I see. Well, now then, what's first? The hairbrush. Anna's hairbrush. Then let's begin. Arr. I'm sorry? Aruga. Well, this one's quite odd. Pain. Just wanted to stop it. Senses are scattered different but becoming more lucid all the time. I was so good at keeping my head the best, but even the calmest beast will bite back when it's cut. It seems that's as much as I'm going to get. You're right, Clara. You look a bit peaky. I'm quite fine, I think. You think this one was is far less coherent than I expected. Can be the case sometimes when someone leaves us in a especially painful way, or when something else is must up the ritual of the thing. So, is that all it was? Damn it, I wanna succeed. I want to succeed in that role. Flash chin bag. Airbrush. Yes. Waruga, bubuga. Alright, we did it. It's not just that her senses were different somehow. Her mind, not in pain, but in some other state entirely, something animal. Maybe like some lycanthrope spirit possesses them and causes them to kill themselves. Jessica said she heard growling that night in the bell jar. I wonder. Perhaps the killer was not a wolf at all. Perhaps what dear Jessica heard was Hannah Lind. It certainly warrants further investigation. Okay, let's save and then do the other one. Then should I go back? I wonder if I can get the brush of Breetrix back. Okay, let's begin. It's quieter than it's... Rachel Nichols says, quieter than it's been in an age. I don't like how this one feels. I didn't know what I was saying. out of my head at the time, like I always was. That's right, Rachel Nichol was sleeping rough the evening of her death. Had been for some time. I don't have nothing to say. Saying things is what got me gone in the end. She took it the wrong way. How peculiar. I crossed her, and this is where it got me. Never really believed it would be the chin that did me in, and I was right, wasn't I? In a matter of speaking, do you know who was that mad dream? Who that mad dream thought I was? An insult meaning as inflammable or unpleasant as brimstone, one prone to anger and lewdness. Who she thought Rachel was. Right, paranoid kid, that one. Foolish or worthless person. Right, paranoid, foolish kid, that one. A danger to herself and others. Certainly a danger to myself. Suppose it don't matter either way now. It's all gone. How was it? I can't say precisely what happened to Rachel, but I've something else. I'll spit it out then. Whoever it was that did her in that night was a woman. Whatever else happened to Miss Nichols, that is a solid lead. Certainly ask some questions. That's a good find, indeed. Any other items? No, not right now. Okay. Can we borrow the brush from Beatrix? But let's go talk to the apothecarist guy, Mr. Gray. And maybe we can also let's see if Tessica has something new to give us. Like if we found something out about Hannah. Fucking bet. Hello, Clara. It's always good to see you. I'm not gonna commission a portrait. Time for a chinvat, perhaps? Okay. Okay, we can't do that. Let's just go to the apothecary. And the apothecarists. Wharf. That's all. Nobody's in the shop, but the door was open. Better have a look around. Jeweled pin. Tossed haphazardly on the table is a small jeweled bauble. Old and a bit tarnished, but otherwise well cared for. It's a gold men's stick pin. In its back is an engraving of a small tom. On its front, a glittering orange cat's eyes gem. Fashion accessory used to secure cravats, ties or other neck wearers. Tomcat, male cat. I recall we girls and the bullfrogs would keep something similar on our person, sometimes for far less venial reasons than the warding off of mashers, though that was their most common use for this masher, men who make unwanted advances upon women in public. Gordon is nowhere to be seen. Strange how it's just being thrown here haphazardly. Does it even belong to him? Yeah, let's take it. Yeah, it might be. Perhaps I'll ask Gordon about it when he returns, see where it's from. Yeah, maybe it's from a victim or something. See if we can open the secret passage. Shelf covered in tinctures, salves, and cure-alls sits recessed into the wall. There's something odd about the shelving. Doesn't seem to be flush with the wall, not entirely. Push the rack. There does seem to be something odd about it. I wonder what would happen if I pushed. Oh, okay, the rack gives way with minimal exertion. That was easy. Well, strike me blind. Isn't that curious? And then God obliges. You're blind. And then you stumble. Ooh. Dark passage opens in a well-lit dungeon. Standing not far from a table of gold, the local apothecary reads over some papers. There's a chunk of flesh on the floor that looks remarkably like a human heart. I shan't like to speculate, nor will I let my eyes linger on what I can only surmise is an operation table. The metal slab is stained with many layers of blood, as if multiple creatures let go of their life-giving essence upon its surface. Okay. Sorry about your intruding upon your creepy sex dungeon. Cadaver. But oh, Miss Reed, did no one ever tell you that it was unkind to go barging into the back of someone's store unannounced? A steel scalpel rests upon the table near his hand. An apothecary and a surgeon both, it seems. Let's not worry about it until he gives me reason to. Mr. Gray, pardon the prying, but what exactly are you doing here? Even though his complex array of lenses, I can see him raise his eyebrow. I'm an apothecary, Miss Reed. I must know the effects of my sedatives on the human body. Well, I should not be surprised at the lack of education among the less advanced of London. I thought you were at least aware that the human body contains organs. Curative or restorative remedies. Point out that he was hiding. And, he, and exactly why are you skulking behind a hidden door if your business is so legitimate? Grim look passes over his face. Passerby, and particularly those of poor constitution, have no desire nor need to observe my work. Do most passerby require hidden doors to deter them for the sake of their van constitutions? What a man does or does not do in his own place of business does not. His eyes flashed to a door on back wall, then back to me. All right, my operation is somewhat less than legal, and I would rather not be stumbled upon those with loose tongues and feeble minds, but I assure you, what I'm doing here is both completely normal and entirely ethical. It seems to be the truth as he believes it to be, at any rate. Who delivers the organs? Miss Reed, even if I knew, why would I tell you? Where did these organs come from, Mr. Gray? As I said, from bodies. I believe the proper response to such willful dismissal is a sneer. Fine, fine, I have the organs delivered once in a fortnight. I have a place to receive them not far from the shop. Dead drop. Have done for years. Prearranged um, hiding place for deposit and pickup of secret materials without the need for in-person contact. Dead drop. A blasted good story whether true or not, though I wager Mr. Gray is none too skilled at lying. 10 out of 2. I head down there, take what's being left, and I deposit payment in return. Beyond that, I have no interest in where they come from, nor I have ever. You say this is entirely normal and ethical. I find that hard to believe, but with the skulking. Look, it's no secret that physicians have need of cadavers to practice their work, nor is it secret that there are never enough volunteers. It has become rather a hot topic these last years. All manner of questionable practices have been dragged to the fore. I don't need a sermon, the sanctity of burials, nor the inviolability of the body misread. Medical science must progress, and I must pay a man to visit a graveyard, to take from those who will never mind, in order to progress. Then that is what I will do. And I'm certain that your own personal enrichment doesn't factor into that one whit. As I said, I need no sanctimonious lectures today. That's enough chit chat. He gives a deflated sigh, knowing that my interrogation is certainly not over. Flashing. I think I would think you might want to avoid attention of the law hidden as your operation is. You misunderstand the nature of this beast, Miss Reed. If medical experimentation upon cadavers is a secret act at all, it is an open one. Should you go to the police, they will offer you some token response unless they have other cause to wish me ill. Another regrettably accurate point. I am not out robbing graves myself, and my possession of these organs breaks no laws. Perhaps he has not made a connection between recent happenings and the great deal of human remains upon his table. He inquired as to the quantity of his specimens. I notice that you seem to have no shortage of fresh research material. Is it common that you find yourself so flush with donations? The question gives him pause. Well, most of these have been held in formaldehyde for the better part of the month, but the deliveries lately have been particularly bountiful. What are you getting at? Remind him there's a killer on the loose. Do you not think the authorities, perhaps even the press, might be more interested in the procurement of a large quantity of fresh organs at a time when dollies are winding up slaughtered, organless, and splayed out on the London streets? He is genuinely flummoxed by the insinuation, especially since one of your victims was found with a vial of your medicine. I don't. What? No, I have nothing to do with that business. Why should I? Ray takes a deep breath and regains his composure. Fine, as I said, I don't know anything. I sell lots of medicine, Miss Reed. Nothing suspicious about that. Were it not for the suspicious trade in organs, he'd have a point. But if I were some sort of criminal, I might spend my time with dogs chasing my tail about on the edge of the Thames. That's all I have to say on the matter. He's trying to shift blame to dog hounds? Not particularly subtle, though I suppose he is up to his elbows in blood. Take a leave. Mr. Gray, I believe I'll take my leave now. No. You have been most helpful, whether or not it was your genuine intent. But close the door on your way out. I will not weasel any more out of him. This is far from over, but now's the time to remove myself from this grotesque little vista. I still wanna explore the place. Like what sort of crap does he have here? Medical book. Not even a penny dreadful compares to this book outlining the most grisly maladies known to the natural sciences. Morgue table. There's still blood on it despite the sizable drain. How many bodies does he dissect? Obsidian urns. Urns for the cremated. It's rather like London. Numerous unfortunate souls shuffled off and tucked away in tight spaces. Glass jars. It seems we're dealing with quite a collector. He must unearth all sorts of samples. Bagged body. Given that it's bagged, I would assume he has yet to embalm this departed soul. Empty compartment. Cold steel for colder bodies. Okay, that's. How I hope poor Beatrix's body did not end up down here, though I fear it would be naive to assume it did not. Okay, I guess that's everything. Um, let's see. I guess. Yeah, okay, here it says find an item that belongs to the victim of the Velvet Rose. So yeah, let's go back to Velvet Rose and get something to show the psychic woman or whatever. Enter Palladium. Enter Palladium. Exit Stalladium. Buddy, take the cone. Alright, I'm sorry for this, Bay. I truly am. Come on, this dude, like, find out he killed her. It's not like I'm doing it, you know, to pawn it or anything. We've done all we can here. Let's meet once more though, for with more information. Don't worry, I'll know where to find you. Okay, fine. Just walking around the same. I mean, loading screens. I wish I could just teleport from inside the building or fast travel. Let's go to the curio shop. Um, Ask Anselin to help you. You speak with the dead. I have something here that once belonged to one of the victims. One I knew. Can we start right now? Hear from the dead. No, suppose we could. Just give me a moment to prepare. Anselina locks the front door of her shop before moving to the side counter, arrayed with the candles and ceremonial cloth. She gestures for me to join her before taking my hands in hers. No, you need to focus, Clara. Think about the departed. Focus on her image. She lays the comb on the surface between you. Gold veneer glints in the candlelight, and you see yourself in the mirror over her shoulder. Beatrix was a proud and exacting woman. She fancied herself a lady, and the way she preened and the creams and the ambergris always seemed to bring in the clientele. That and her eyes, rare as emerald stones. Wax from whale's intestines used in production of fine perfumes. Can you see her now? Envision her face. I nod my assent. Breathe deeply and close your eyes. The world goes dark, but for the image in my mind, long moments of silence pass before some impatient customer raps on Anselina's locked front door. No, not her front door, the wall, perhaps. The sound is moving. Light breeze passes over the skin of her clasped hands. If there's a spirit here, come to us. We acknowledge your presence and wish to speak. Knocking continues to move until it stops somewhere behind Anselina's voice. There is a medium among us. Appear to her side and share with her your secrets. One who mediates communications between the living and the dead. The breeze stops, then shortly thereafter the knocking, and Anselina squeezes my fingers. It's time. I open my eyes. Anselina still stands at the counter in front of me, and the darkened mirror of Beatrix stands behind me, eyes locked with mine in reflection. Do not panic. She is no threat to me. I am here of my own volition, and I will act as such. Regardless, she is not the first spectre I've seen. Greet Beatrix's spirit. It's good to see you again. Beatrix's voice replies, but it isn't the spirit's lip that moves, it's mine. Clara, where? What have you done? Sure, let's ask Beatrix about the afterlife. What is it like where you are? Eternal peace? All one's worldly curiosity is sated, or is it the other place perhaps? I would advise against that line of inquiry, my dear. Her semi-translucent eyes do not meet mine. Is she looking at herself in the mirror? Oh yes, there's no one here. No one but me here, darling. Silent, silent enough that I can hear the blood thrumming steadily across my veins. I think I do, though I haven't any blood left. Terrifying prospect. Does it happen to everyone, or is it because of how she died, or is it the fact of being called back to the realm of the living? Yes, give my condolences. You and I might not have always seen eye to eye, Beatrix, but I am sorry you were killed, and you will have your vengeance through me. Was there something you needed, or okay? Ask about the killer. Bay, I'm trying to understand what happened. You weren't the first one murdered, and I fear you won't be the last. Do you know who did this to you? I'm afraid not. I was happy, nervous. I was waiting in one of the rooms. After a time, I heard Sykes in the alley below, bickering with Clem. I went to the window and called down to him, though he did not hear me. I returned to waiting, though not for long. She pauses, running fingers through her spectral hair in frustration. I wait for her response. I don't know what it all means. I can't recall what happened before or after. Though after was rather brief. I'm sure I spoke with Ari before she left. Then everything is a blur, and then it is nothing at all. With Sykes in the alley below, there is no way he was the killer. She spoke to Ariana. I knew she was leaving, she told me so, and she told me something else as well. No, I must remember this. I can't. Clara, I can't. Help me, please help me. What do you need? What can I do? The panic in the air seems to vanish. Beatrix still stands behind me entirely unchanged through the tension has gone. Not a thing. I woke up somewhere else. It's quite lovely, since it's just me. I can feel her weeping. The tears run warm down my own cheeks, but her face in the mirror stays stock still and content. Her mouth has never once moved. I need to return or to leave. Be seeing you, Clara. Wait, But she's gone. Okay. So this killer, he wasn't the one they suspected, Angelina has begun putting away the candles and lighting the electric lamps before my eyes have come into focus. Did I lose consciousness? It couldn't have been him. She saw him there in the alleyway, but her killer was inside the rose, behind her at the window. Well, that's important information. Will it help narrow the field? Think about it carefully. Yes, succeed. She also did not hear any commotion other than Sykes in the alley. That means the killer was silent. Their presence did not arouse suspicion upon entering the rose or her room in particular. It's not much, but it's something. She gives you an approving nod. Such a bright young woman. I'm afraid I really must reopen my business. Thank you, Antonina. You helped me a great deal. My pleasure, dearie. If you find anything else that you'd like me to examine, I'll be here. I think we have the pin or whatever it was. Yeah, the jeweled pin. I found this stick pin at Gordon Gray's. Casey was found with the medicine from Gray's. I think the two might be connected. So Casey Lowery. Then let's begin. Here we are again, aren't we? What? Of all the ways it could have gone, all the prigs that didn't give a shite if I was alive or dead, this was how it ended. Wrong place, wrong time, a pointless sudden death. That's atrocious. Ain't it just? Such is life, eh? Judged by the company we keep, judged by whether anyone will kick up a fuss if we're gone. All of us are selling our lives anyway, one way or another. Why would I ever want to be part of it? Don't get a choice, do we? Not usually. I just wish I had burned it down more before the end. As do I. Rest well, my friend. Ooh, we got justice. This character has gained the vengeful trait and will now be able to select dialogue options that require this trait. Okay, but we lost hope. Well, Casey Logri, I must admit I feel no small amount of kinship. And anything that might help your case, I think he was merely unlucky. What was it that Eve told me? He was found with an elixir from golden grace on his person. Perhaps he saw something he should not have. Could have been anyone, the poor bastard. I know the killer was supplying Mr. Gray with fresh material. Perhaps Casey Lowry stumbled upon the dastard delivering their payload. A dishonorable and despicable person. Any other items you'd like to have a look at? Not right now. Well, let me know if you change your mind. Okay, so next is, do we have any other items that might be? I guess we have like gotten one item from each character. I know Gwen Saney. So wait, where did Gwen Saney die? She was at the docks or something? Well, anyways, maybe I should end the stream here. I can do that tomorrow. Try to find something from Gwen. Sus. But yeah, hey, finally we're actually investigating murder and stuff. So like, because I think the beginning took many hours. It was quite slow paced. Not saying it's inherently bad or something, but maybe a bit too slow paced. But now stuff is happening. But where's the dwarf and how does he fit into all of this if he is not the killer? Because I still have my suspicions he might be that, maybe he's schizophrenic or something. But anyways, I'm Adventure Argonaut. Thank you for watching and bye bye.